Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be my top 10 stocks as we head into Friday, June 24th. This will be a technical analysis breakdown. So if you're somebody that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. Real quick, a couple of clarification points. Number one, this price over here will still be changing and that candle will be moving around. That's because the market's still open for a small amount of time, but I like to do these videos when the market is still open because sometimes we can capture some really interesting late day price movement. And then second, I'll be using the 30-minute time frame. So for you beginners out there, what that means is that each one of these candlesticks here, as they're called, represents 30 minutes worth of time. So stock number one here, ticker symbol BHAT. Very, very big move today. And now you have a nice little consolidation, which overall forms a very, very attractive pattern. And I want to be very clear about this. I'm not trying to imply that this is a great discovery on my part. I'm not trying to imply that this is some sort of great talent. I assure you a lot of people around the world have noticed this pattern. And I say all that because when a lot of people are watching the same pattern and wondering the same thing, call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, call it whatever you want, it can produce some very dynamic movement. So let's get this pattern here put into place. So top part of this pattern right up here at $3 and let's see, what is that? 40 cents. Bottom part of the pattern right here, that area of support, which you can see right there. Let me actually change just to green to represent more so a bullish dynamic. And then maybe make this just easier to see overall around. Let's make this all one color. So we have our resistance, we have our support, we have the big momentum move right there. And this would be a bull flag pattern. And while nothing is guaranteed, my point here is this, that if the price works its way back to the top of this pattern and can get a breakout, that breakout in and of itself could create quite a bit of additional buying pressure, self-fulfilling prophecy, whatever you want to call it. That's not a guaranteed thought, but it is a plausible thought to have. So if you like these sort of setups and you like this price range, I definitely get this one on your watch list for Friday. Next one, VRM, and I put this on the watch list at this moment because same exact thing we just talked about, self-fulfilling prophecies, patterns. So no, I'm not trying to impress you. I'm not trying to imply this is a great discovery. A lot of people are going to be watching this pattern. Top part of the pattern right here at $1.70. Bottom part of the pattern right down here at this trend line. And if you're having a case of deja vu, that is my intent because these are very, very similar. General philosophies are the same. And I don't want to repeat myself, so we'll just quickly go through it. But we have a resistance. We have our support. We have the big upwards move right there. So another bull flag pattern. So if you like to play bull flags, if you like to play those potential self-fulfilling prophecies, then get this one on your watch list. Next, VEDU, and this is another one where you had the big move, a bit of a deeper pullback here. But what I'm curious about, and is in this situation, is not necessarily a breakout, but I'm more so interested in this trend line here that has now become apparently a very solid area of support. So now if you want to play some sort of breakout angle, that's, completely fine. And remember, what is a watch list? What's a philosophy of a watch list? Well, to find unique, to find interesting situations, and not just rush out and buy something, but to watch them and see if the price ultimately behaves in a way that fits your personal trading strategy. So like I said, in this situation, what catches my eye most is a potential pullback to that trend line here, which again, as I've said and will continue to say more, if the price goes down to that green line, is it guaranteed to bounce? No, of course not. No guarantees. But is it plausible? It's absolutely plausible when you think about the fact that it's bounced off that area before. So it doesn't mean it'll happen again, but it's at least a rational thought process to have. So keep an eye on that trend line right there. As far as resistance areas, main level to watch moving forward going to be right there at $2.25. But like I said, in my mind, very, very interested about that green trend line right there. So we'll see if it comes into play or not. Not necessarily on Friday, but overall the next couple of days. Next one, AMC, and just a brutal day. No need to beat around the bush, and especially when you factor in yesterday, how during that opening 30 minutes on Wednesday, got a huge, beautiful breakout, was consolidating, got a little miniature pattern, and then broke to the downside, and that ultimately turned out to be the leading indicator as the opening 30 minutes today did the exact opposite. Broke down, but then it just kept on going down. So overall, rough day, and updates certainly need to be made here. And I want to squeeze things down so you can see kind of where these overall levels are. But the good news here is that the price bounced off a level that it's bounced off of before. So it's good to see that there are still buyers down here at $11.40, which you can see. Nope, you can't see. I guess you can kind of see it behind my ugly mug. But right there, it bounced. And then right here, it bounced. And then once again, right there, it bounced. So moving forward, does that mean that if the price goes down to $11.40, it'll for sure bounce again? Of course not, as I've already covered. But is it plausible? Is it rational to think? Well, yeah, it's happened once, twice, 3 times before, so that doesn't mean that'll happen again, but it's certainly a plausible thought process to have. So from a main and key area of support, $11.40 will be watched by quite a few people. In terms of areas of resistance, if this late day bounce continues, then the first key and big battleground to watch moving forward going to be right there at about $12.10 on Friday. So yeah, you got to give credit where credit's due. Last 30 minutes here, nice strong green candle. Still a lot more work to be done, and that first bit of work comes in the form of getting up to 12.10 and then breaking above it and staying above it. Next one here, PETZ, and in hindsight, I should have totally rearranged just within the watch list itself because it follows that same topic of a well-defined pattern and self-fulfilling prophecies. And with this pattern, it all revolves around this area of resistance right there, that pink line, which on my chart denotes the very well-known, the very famous 200 period moving average. And you can see that generally speaking, right there, rejected by it immediately, right here, a little bit above, right here, a little bit below. So point here being that we're going to use that as the top part of our pattern here. And I'll just draw it since you've seen these before. So we have our resistance there, again, just using that moving average. We have our support right there. We have the big momentum move right here. So I suppose in this situation, the difference would be instead of a bull flag, if you put a little golf hole down here to make it more visual, this would technically be a bull pennant pattern. But don't get caught up in the words, wait, what's it called? Understand that it is a bullish pattern and that you're going to have the big potential self-fulfilling prophecy dynamic of if this price can recover, get back up to that area and get a breakup through it, then yes, it's not guaranteed, but it is a rational thought to have. So definitely keep an eye on this bull pennant pattern if you enjoy this price range. Real quick, wanted to pause and personally invite you to get signed up for this free live training that I'm offering. So if you've been enjoying what you've seen and you want to learn more about this tool, how it can and should be used to help build consistency as a trader, then certainly get signed up for the free training. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link down in the description box. If you're watching on my site, there's an area right there on the webpage you can click to get signed up. But one note here, this is a live event, and depending on when you watch this is going to determine a few things. If you're watching this Friday morning, then yeah, you've missed the live class. However, send me an email because the live event will be recorded. So after the event's completed and I get it, the recording uploaded, I'd be happy to send you a link to it. Or if you're watching this maybe right now and you can still make it, but you have something else on your schedule, well, then I understand. So again, go ahead, drop me an email there and I'd be happy to send you a link to the recording. But if you can make it live, then definitely get signed up. Next one, NIO, third day on the watch list, and I'm going to continue to put this one on the watch list for you longer time viewers. You know why I'm going to, why I'm putting it on the watch list and what I'm going to talk about. But once again, wouldn't you know it, that red line at 2310 came into play this morning, rejected the price, and then came into play once again last 30 minutes here and has rejected the price. So what a stubborn area of resistance. But as I said in yesterday's video, it was starting to stick out like a sore thumb even more. Well, now for the third day in a row, there's just going to be that many more people watching it. So no guarantees, but as far as self-fulfilling prophecies, it is completely rational and valid to think that if this thing can get a good high volume break of 2310, that could definitely create a whole nother surge of upwards buying pressure. So that's really as straightforward as that. Nothing else to talk about. All eyes on 2310 for NIO. It's been this way since back on Tuesday. It's still this way a couple days later, and you can see there the price just continues to get rejected at that area. But let's see what happens with it on Friday. Next, MULN. So a couple different dynamics here. First, I'm just going to get this resistance trend line extended out because that's still completely in play. In fact, I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of that line there because that's what I'm most curious about is going to be that overall resistance trend line right there. So if there are any sort of bounces, I mean, don't get me wrong, that's good. That's a step in the right direction. But I wouldn't be too overly excited until the price can first prove itself that it's getting more genuine strength. And how am I defining quote unquote genuine strength? By not only being able to get up to the trend line right there, but also being able to break above it and stay above it. So again, this movement right here, yeah, that's great. That's a step in the right direction. But like I said, just don't get too overly excited because there's still work that needs to be done. As far as some of the next potential areas of support are concerned, two main levels stand out. First area, nothing fancy, just other than the question of, well, where did the bleeding finally stop today? And that was right down here at the $1.36 mark. And then if the price can't hold above there, next key level is going to be that very important pink line, which, as I've mentioned in other charts, is the 200-day period moving average. So keep an eye on those couple areas of support. But yeah, like I said, nice little bounce here, but can it get up to that level? And then more importantly, can the price break above it? Let's see what happens on Friday. Next, TSLA Tesla, and traded this one today, got the better of me today, but you can't win every day. But nonetheless, want to get this thing mapped out because there's definitely a couple of key levels that at least I'll be watching. Whether or not you want to agree or disagree, completely up to you. But the first level here that I'm very, very curious about is that area right down there at 687. You go back here to that opening 30 minutes price bounce. Then there's that big, or we'll call it late morning, early afternoon collapse. Once again, bounce right off that level. So if the price does come back down there, I will be very curious, how does the price behave? Does it look like it's going to bounce? And yeah, potentially trying to go long. Does it look like it's going to fail? Then yeah, potentially looking to play some puts or go short, depending on the circumstances. But point here being is 687 in my mind is now a very important and interesting level here moving forward. In terms of areas of resistance, I'm going to go ahead and just drag this level down here, because in my mind, the more pressing and current level of resistance right there at the 717 mark. I suppose if you wanted to, you could also just draw a trend line right there. In fact, now that I do that, maybe that would be, let's do this. Let me change this to represent that. Because like I said, I'm kind of talking to myself out loud here, but as I just noticed that might be, let's see, did that? Oh yeah, look at that. That's crazy. So I didn't notice that at first, but by connecting that dot and that dot, it did a fantastic job of forecasting right where that area of resistance is at. So yeah, that trend line definitely needs to be in play there. Like I said, didn't recognize it at first. So initial area of resistance right around, let's call it the 70 or 710 mark, and then next key level up there at that secondary level, and then again that key level of support down there at 687. Next one, AMZN. Very, very impressive afternoon. And now we have some interesting situations here moving forward. But again, going back to the idea and philosophy of a watch list, to find unique situations. And we have a very unique situation. What is that situation? Well, the fact that not Tesla, but Amazon has now broken up through this pattern. Now, you may be saying, well, then it's too late, Clay, because we have this. And then if you have that pattern right there, very, roughly drawn, well, it's too late. There's no opportunity. And you're not wrong. I realize that, yes, from the breakout opportunity, that one has already come and passed. But we now get to ask a great question is, hey, is this the start of something bigger? Now, think about that question. What needs to first happen in order to be able to ask that question? Well, something significant, something worthwhile needs to happen, or there's no point to ask, hey, is this the start of something bigger? But we did get it. We got the breakout of that pattern. So who knows? Now, to be fair, maybe it's not. Maybe this thing just rolls right back over. But again, a two-sided coin. Well, maybe it is the start of something much bigger, and it gets that much more momentum, which now brings a very interesting point, and which you now know, that pink line, 200 period moving average at, let's just call it 113.50. So in my mind, 113.50 is going to be a very important level headed into Friday. It is going to play a pretty big role in determining whether or not this pattern breakout is going to get that much more momentum or not. Next one, LABU, which is a leverage ETF in the biotech industry, but that doesn't necessarily even matter, because what matters is this thing has been beast moding, and within the beast moding, and this is, again, I put this at a strategic location because we just had this topic with Amazon. You put that trend line right there, and yes, the price has now broken that trend line. So from the starting point, oh, well, I missed it. And sure, if you want to play the trend line, you did miss that, but we get to ask that great question. Wow, what a big move. Got the trend line break. So say it with me. Is this the start of something much bigger? Like I said, maybe it's not, maybe it goes back down, but what if it is? What if it is the start of something bigger? And then next week we're going to be saying, hey, remember when this thing was down in the $7 range and now it's up at 10 or 11? I'm not saying it's going up there, but the point here being is it showed a lot of momentum today, a lot of volume and strength, and most importantly, it's got that technical breakout. So let's just see if we get some sort of self-fulfilling prophecy where you get that much more people pouring into it, and then you get that much more momentum on Friday and in the coming day. So yes, significant breakout. So it goes back to that question: is it the start of something bigger? It's worth at least watching and getting on your watch list. So that wraps up the top 10. Again, like I said earlier, if you enjoyed what you saw here and you want to learn more about this tool and how it can and should be used to build consistency as a trader, then certainly get signed up for the free training. But like I said, if you already have something on your schedule tonight, or if you're watching this on Friday morning and you've missed it, it will be recorded. So if you want a link to that recording, clay@claytrader.com, I'd be happy to send you a link to it. But if you can make it live, then yeah, it'll be Thursday, June 23rd at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So I hope to see you there, or hope to see and get an email from you. As far as these top 10 videos are concerned, if you enjoy this format, if you would like for me to continue to make these videos, then please let me know with some basic feedback. Hit that like button and leave a simple comment. But those two things communicate to me that you enjoy, and as long as I know people are enjoying, I will continue to do it. So hit the like button and leave me a comment. Tell me what you traded today. Give me a smiley face emoji. Just do anything, but any kind of comment with a like I said, goes a long way in me trying to manage my time here. So if you enjoyed, like I said, get signed up for that free class or drop me an email. Hit that like button, leave a simple comment. Thanks and take care.